It is a beautiful car.
It's a view, and more of that car would be better.
Show the car. Don't show me. I'm perfectly agreeable.
This is Brendan Fry's 57 A gasser. Fiberglass, obviously taken.
Yeah.
You still have the lines there, but it's nothing like a stock 57. Although you can find pretty much stock cars in A gas too. And what a great class, and what a good run by Brendan to win that.
Yeah, it was a good car all weekend. Obviously, you have to be. I mean, that class, like Brendan said, I think in the paper on Monday, if you're not cutting, close to perfect lights and running just a few off, you're dead in the water.
At every sheet, he was quicker than any other opponent on the lights. Anywhere his lights were generally .010.
Yeah.
0.018 in the semifinals. He was an 11 with his opponent at 11, and he ran a little quicker. And he was never slower than I think a 764.
Right.
On a 760 index.
Exactly.
And then in the finals, the other guy knew he had to cut a good light and red by a seventh 1,000th of a second.
Yeah.
So Brendan had the race won as soon as he left the
and the
starting
only reason
line.
he's off on his index is because he's got the stripe and he's just backing up a little bit to him and literally, I don't want to say lifting, but he knows he's got it covered, so he can afford to go a little over the index.
So he was right there around that. He ran a 761, closest to the index, and then in the final he just legged it out. He knew he had a one. So
he knew he had a one, so
he ran under the index. The 756, 180 miles an hour. But what a great class! I love A gas because of the variety of cars. You've got the fiberglass body cars. You've got steel body cars from the 60s.
Here's the race Mike shot.
This is the final.
You got video?
Ooh. Oh, I got video. I don't know how I got that, but I was able to get video.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
But video's great. People in Australia love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that race was won as he left the line there.
I'm sure he knew. He has a radio.
He knew. He knew. He said he saw it as
he saw the red light.
He saw the red light. And he said he knew.
Good.
So there you go, 756, and
nice.
A good run there.
A great run there by Brendan Fry, who is the only local winner.
The only local winner
from the Hot Rod Reunion. Blake Bowser with us now.
Well, Taft, I guess that's
from Taft. Yeah.
Local.
We consider if we sell papers there, it's local.
It's
for
local.
us. Yeah.
Randy Winkle out of McFarland made the semifinals. I think
and
he went 6 rounds, and he lost in the 4th round. So that's the farthest any other local went.
Yeah.
We have an absolute ton of stuff to show off, and Tom Mock, I think, outdid himself this last weekend, and we can show off some of these photos while we talk to Blake. The Hot Rod Reunion. First up, the events this weekend. We have what event do we have this weekend? We have Super Chevy next weekend.
Next weekend, Saturday is our street tuner, basically street legal bikes, cars.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's our street program presented by Autoclub. So yeah, anything street legal, street tune, come on out. Run all day Saturday.
And then we have one more event after the Super Chevy show, right? Is that
we do. That's our gentleman that does the Red List
event.
Right. He's added an event mid-December, so we'll take a little Thanksgiving break, and we'll come back and do that.
All right.
Yeah. That's a pre. You got to pre-enter that. Go on his ticket sale site and get entered that way.
Maybe we should add like another Nitro show like on that Saturday, after Thanksgiving.
I think you'll see quite a few at our Super Chevy show. We have an open test and tune lane all weekend.
Really?
So I've already got phone calls, guys testing for next year.
Nice.
So they'll be there.
It'll be interesting.
A nice mix of cars.
Yeah, it's always fun to. That's why you got to go out there on the weekends because you never know what's going to show up. Here's a Lamborghini that's here, or a Ducati or something. Okay, the Hot Rod Reunion was just from following Griffith's posts on our Power Hour page and also from the AAFD's Facebook page. An incredible weekend of competition.
Cars ran very well. Those that were ready for the track ran very well. Those that weren't, they shook the tires and didn't get down the track. And
to see Bill Dunlap win at 74 or 76, right? Is he 74?
75, I think. 74 or 75.
Somewhere in that. Over 70. You had two 70-year-old men racing in the finals on two unbelievably powerful cars.
Right.
But what was that like to see that win for Mr. Dunlap?
Oh, I knew he was probably going to go ahead and win that final based on what happened in the semis when I don't know what happened to Tony Bartone in that semi. It looked like he just lifted. He was trying to run. I think he thought he had his opponent covered, but I think did something break on the car?
Well, he had some 3 cylinders go out.
Okay,
and so the car just slowed down, and he lifted more because the car just You're back like that. All of a sudden, you're like that, and he's thinking this thing's going to blow up. He had a big lead.
It looked like he just lifted. Thought he had a big lead, and then.
But if he doesn't lift, you've got a big kaboom like last year's March meet.
Exactly. So pretty much coming into the final, I wasn't surprised to see Bill win that, but it was still good to see. I mean, he's worked hard for that, and they've toured. I give them credit. They've toured the entire country this year, every race.
It feels like
they deserve it.
It feels like Bartone, though. In it's he obviously didn't win it, but I mean he's made that class interesting to watch.
He definitely has.
Can knock him out.
Yeah, and we all know that the car count in that class is an issue right now, and he's made it newsworthy.
Yeah,
Tony's made it where we're still tuning in to or showing up to watch front motor top fuel cars.
Right,
so
absolutely.
That's really been cool.
And then to see, and then Denver Chutes apparently announced that he's retiring after his run there. What does that mean for that class? Because he's been so competitive.
I think it's what we've been talking about. Bill's not getting younger, and Denver obviously, and there's really not a lot of young blood coming in, so that class could be in a little bit of a change. You're looking at a change here coming up. I don't know what's going to happen, but. And we do have the rules written in several cars built for the rear motor top fuel cars, so maybe that'll phase in a little more.
Is there anybody under 40 in that class who drives? I mean,
in front motor top fuel? I think Rick McGee, probably the youngest driver out there in top fuel.
Yeah.
He's out of Exeter.
Right.
He's pretty young guy. So, he's about my age, so I think that's young.
Show some of these photos that Mr. Mocht has sent us. Just an incredible range of it. Steve Denchen, by the way, was your 2015 Funny Car Heritage Series champion.
And Tony won the championship.
And Tony won I think he'd already won it coming in, right? Or getting to the
semis. He had it.
I think it was pretty safe. Yeah.
He pretty much had it locked up, and that's
a great photo.
They had to make the tow.
Yeah.
So, and how fitting is our next year's promotional poster for the March meet? Both champions are on it. So,
nice.
Yeah,
and look at that crowd there. That's I believe Saturday.
That's Saturday.
That's probably Saturday, judging by the fence crows there.
That's an impressive day for you guys.
Weather was perfect all weekend. I mean, it couldn't be. It was a beautiful. We thought we're blessed with March meet weather.
This is a great picture because this is the last event for the Pure Hell car. They're taking it off the series, and that's
Guasco's car, right?
Guasco's car, and that's been a fan favorite for decades.
Yeah. So some changes coming up. That's for sure. Some cars being built, some cars being retired, and drivers as well.
What was your take on the funny car final?
The whole weekend I was just like, wow. I mean, we had how many cars we have in the 560 range? Five or six cars.
5 cars in the 560s, and the funny cars. It took a 89 to make the
show.
The show 78 was 9th.
Yeah,
and you had some guys that didn't qualify. Once again, Cruz Pedregon comes out. He's got a new chassis, and he was totally lost. He couldn't get 60
I guess they tried some new tire wheel combination and didn't work out for him.
It didn't work, and then he came back Sunday
and lit it up.
Sunday evening, and at least he got 300, 400 feet, but it blew out, which was farther than the 60 to 100 feet he was getting.
He sent me a text and said, thanks a bunch, we'll be back. And so I guess he's coming again. But
I think that just shows, here's the guy that competes on the big show.
You just can't show up.
And he just can't show up. And he said that when he talked to us, he says, I'm the underdog because these guys run these cars and know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Brad Thompson there, he's been struggling in jailbake.
Yeah.
Just a lot of tire shake. Can't get down the racetrack. So an interesting weekend.
I get what and
here's our champion.
Here's our pro mod. Our funny car.
Yeah.
That car is quick. That car runs 260 miles an hour all the time.
I'm not the biggest fan of the body, but
it's apparently
it's approved. It's legal.
It's approved. It's legal, and this is what they're probably going to look like now because it's probably a little more aerodynamic.
Go back to that picture for a second. So it's not. It doesn't feel like a nostalgia car necessarily.
You know what? From the injector back, it does to me, but. Well, except for the stuff in the in the back, the little wings in the back,
right?
A little overdone
it's
there.
more
but
of like it's closer to the mid '80s, later '80s. But
the car ran well and it was clean. And put on one heck of a show.
Yeah. And it goes 260, 262 all the time.
They hit the ground running, didn't they?
And I hear there's some more bodies like that ordered. So
yes. Yeah, I did hear a couple guys have bought
the cows
those bodies.
are out of the barn, and that may be the new look of nostalgia racing.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it cleans up the show, then because we do have some guys that are trying to run the 60s and 70s that just can't quite do it, and they're blowing their stuff up doing it. So maybe if this helps them get down the track and not put the motor
having
under stress.
3 Canadian Hall of Fame guys working on the car and tuning it probably doesn't hurt.
No, right?
Yeah.
just an incredible.
I've heard Mark's building a new car as well. So there's guys they're getting new cars for next year.
You know what? Whether you like the old style cars, that's a good looking car. The Hodgkin's car.
It is.
It's a good looking car.
Yeah, it's good looking.
If that's the way it's going to be, and these are gas cars here again, and
I wouldn't mind seeing the funny car class come together overall. I mean, including the big show and
we had the wheel stander out there.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Pleasant surprise. So
one thing I think
this stuff's a surprise to me too, because I'm not involved in booking the cars. Right. I'm just getting the track ready, and NHRA handles, who comes, doesn't come, and these cars show up. And I go, wow, that's cool.
And you usually don't get to see any of this either, because you're usually doing something else.
Yeah, and this race really for me is pretty easy. I'm not involved in running the gates, anything, or decision making. I'm just there making sure the track
is ready to go.
And our guys do their job and cars haul butt.
Do we have the funny car and the top fuel finals, Chris? Can you show those to us, please, if you get a chance here? So, I mean, huge weekend. The crowds look like they're pretty good. We had tremendous feedback from our posts all weekend. Incredible traffic for our video efforts.
Put up 21 videos.
21 videos, that we illegally posted. But
and the crowds were good. I think they could have been better. I think a lot of that is just due to there's 3 reunions now in the country, and I'm hearing next year they're only going to do the 2, the Bowling Green in California. So that's going to help.
Right.
I think they've just saturated the market a little too much, and now you've got the country divided into regions, basically. Right. So we're going to go back to the 2 shows. So that was a good final right there. I pretty much would have taken a mistake by Bill to not win that one, but
he's been the one that's been able to get by Bartone, and here's the funny car final.
Yeah, and Jason I think was just lucky to get there. He had a pretty big boomer in second round, which was first round of the day on Sunday, I believe it was, and they thrashed to get back. All right, I guess it was during first round, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was first round.
They worked all night.
They had to change engines, worked all night,
and so a little fire down there in the top end, and they just basically
they were a little
gave it all
off
they
after
could
that.
Yeah.
Still ran
581 all being off.
He said that everything was a little worn out. They'd been done a lot of racing this year on the IHRA trail, and I can't say that. But they have a series of about 8 or 10 races.
Say on this show.
Yeah.
And so
right.
Yeah, he might have to cover up logos at NHRA events, but he's the IHRA champion.
Yeah.
And he's a big fan of Famoso Raceway and a big backer of nostalgia racing. He's out here, and he said after he blew it up, after things blew up, he says, I think we're just a little worn out on parts.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard by the end of the season, because thinking about Bartone's situation, he blew up an engine or blew up something at the March meet, and then they were going to go back and get more parts and come back at it to blow up things twice, in a season.
I'd say one thing about Bartone, and you said he's had a bad back. He didn't race his funny car, his alcohol funny car in NHRA shows this summer, but he said his back was feeling good in October. The doctor told him he might feel better in October, and he left a message for us as well about March. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Yeah. I don't think want to be the one that tells Tony Bartone he can't drag race.
No.
I don't think I want to do that.
No.
That's probably my biggest take from the weekend, though, is you mentioned the attrition that usually takes place over the season, and by this race, they're used up and they're running with patched and spare parts, and we didn't have that huge parts failure all weekend. We had some stuff go on. Mark Meadows had an oil line come loose, and he slapped the wall. But that's just going to happen. That kind of stuff's going to happen.
Mindy Fry blew up the Arius.
Yeah,
the only Arius.
And that's all they have.
Running. They had one in her.
And they were done.
The funny car, and it blew up with a big bang.
Yeah.
There's video of that.
That happened during Q1, I think,
Q1
on Friday,
qualifying.
and they were done for the weekend. So at this time of year, everyone's just used up, out of parts, and if something goes wrong, they're done. So I was pleased with the lack of oil downs.
Right.
We had some issues, but I know a lot of guys are burning some pistons up, but.
Adam Sorokin apparently did
Adam
that, right?
Sorokin burns a lot of pistons.
Yes, they did. I'll tell you what, they came back on Sunday and made a little time run there. I think it was a 71, I think it was. I think it was a 5.7, and they were quite pleased. So they're going to pack it up for the winter and quite happy with
Sorokin, his first round loss, he was way ahead. Throttle cable broke.
Just came off,
300 feet out, he's ahead.
Car quit.
Quit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was way out there, too.
Yeah.
That first round was covered. But that's why you got to race them. You can't do it on paper.
We're not done with your year yet. You've got still more to come, and there's a lot of exciting things. But I mean, the big events. And we were talking about how we've seen 3 peaks this year with our traffic on our website and our Facebook page. March meet.
Yep.
Saturday Nitro, the first one in June, and this last event. Incredible year for you guys.
Well, we definitely know what the fans are. Most of the fans are following, but it's the whole package. I think it's when we put together that much of a show for March and the reunion and also the Saturday night shows. That's a great package of cars. You see what the fans really are wanting out there. They want that complete racing package, and they're getting it at those shows.
They're getting it, and they're getting an incredible level of competition, at least in the funny car. And now, I mean, for whatever reason, personally, I like the Top Fuel cars better, and I love to see that battle between Dunlap and I mean, I kind of pay attention, maybe because I follow Mr. Kuntz on Facebook now, and so I can
there's one thing that needs to be done with the Top Fuel cars, and that was evident in the qualifying session and stuff. It needs to go to an 8-car field.
8-car show,
You got 12, 13 of the guys. They don't even have to run hard. They make the show. There's a bunch of buys. If you got a 16-car field, you've got buys. Make them run. Get the best 8. You know what? That way, during qualifying, you're going to see a better qualifying show. You have to run hard to make the field. They may not like it, but you don't have 17 or 18 cars. You don't have 16. If you have 15 or 14, but you got 12, everybody's, there's guys out there that are running, 760. Austin Fry could go out there and run with them.
And if you do an 8-car show, it evens out your ladder. So it makes for a clean show when and probably 8-car show, just do your first round starting on Sunday. Just run them out on Sunday.
Nice.
So,
Well, your homework for next week of our season finale is your 6 things that stood out for you in 2015. 6 things that stood out for you. So that'll be your homework for next week.
Drag racing or in general?
Just at Famoso, just at your facility. And there's some great storylines too. I mean, we saw some. If just to me the recap of the Bartone March Meet win. We had. Some amazing events that were sometimes overshadowed by we've had that unfortunate events as well. But then you come up with another big weekend and Bill Dunlap winning obviously was a highlight. So I can think of about 4 or 5 amazing things I saw all year long. So congratulations.
And that's one that class act by the whole crew too. And that's probably going to be one of mine next week, because they all the Roger Garton crew all came out there in their uniforms and
nice.
They did like a missing man formation and fired off his old the fuel altar that he drove, and it was pretty cool.
Very good.
So
very good.
Yeah.
All right, Blake, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week for our season wrap up, and we will talk to Scott Schweitzer, Bakersfield Speedway, come up next.